I was just seeing if I could play my theme song through the sound through my Zoom. So if someone's watching this right now and is like, "Why did he is dancing? There was no music." Well, I found out why, because I can't play through my thing. But anyway, here I am. Hello. I'm supposed to have a guest. My buddy, comedian John Romanoff, is supposed to be on here, but he is not. He could be joining me soon. I guess he had to handle something. But I'm a busy person. You know, I have more than one podcast to do. I stupidly have 1,000 podcasts, but no network carrying me or anyone promoting me or anyone pushing. I'm just talking to myself a whole bunch in my living room. Oh, and here comes John Romanoff now. This should be him right here coming in any second. So I had to start without him. It's no big deal. John, wait till his audio comes in. But because as I'm waiting for, I'm staring at his lovely mug, which I have not seen in a while, but there he is. Hello, sir.
Hi.
We're recording because I could not wait any longer.
I know. I'm sorry, dude.
So, no, you're allowed to have a life. I'm not upset in any way.
No, it's not even life. It's been helping with homework and stuff.
That's life. How is that not life? It's not life. It's just helping my child. That's life.
Oh, you're gonna think I was having you out off in the world gallivanting and just blowing you off.
Wait, my friend, I have known you a long time. You and I are not gallivanters. That's not what we do. We may soiree here or there. We will not gallivant.
I don't know what email you sent it to. You're not coming through on my regular email, so I'm on the phone.
You sent me an email. You sent me an email address that was I don't want to give out your email address, but it ends in Comcast.
Yeah. I don't know why it's not coming through. It's not coming through my laptop. But it came to my phone, but not to my laptop.
That makes no sense.
I know, but I'm sitting there looking at it.
It must. Maybe I'm in spam. Are you spamming me?
I checked. I looked at you. No, I'm not spamming you. I looked in that too.
Am I spamming?
There are a lot of emails in there that I didn't know about too, though.
Those are. Those the worst thing is if you one time just go, I wonder what Tinder's about. You get
You're on the list forever.
Never used it, but I tried it one time and I'm like, I'm not gonna go on there. And all of a sudden it's like, do you like women with 3 tits? I'm like, no one does. No, but I'm interested. It's fine.
I can't believe they have that category.
Well, I mean, since that Total Recall movie, right? Isn't that?
Yeah, but then they had the old, you can't count a woman's tits thing with the Me Too movement. That I don't think it's really allowed.
I don't know that one. You can't count a woman's tits?
No, I don't think you're allowed to know how many tits a girl has when you're going into it. You have to get to know her first.
If I was going to teach young people about counting tits, I would get the count from Sesame Street, and then I would get Nancy Reagan, a regular lady, and the person from Total Recall, and go 1, 2, 3.
Olivia Newton-John could get in there.
Oh, she had 1 tit?
She's the one, if any.
To me, the Mount Rushmore of 1 tit is Nancy Reagan.
Oh, yeah.
Because she was the one who everyone just started saying that. I didn't understand why. They're like, oh, God, cancer. I shouldn't make fun of this.
I've actually known somebody on it. Was there anybody old enough on Mount Rushmore that she could have known?
No.
What about Roosevelt?
No, I don't think so. I don't know who's on there.
I know Lincoln. Well, I know Lincoln the easy one.
In Washington.
And then Obama.
And it's Spiro Agnew. That's who's on there.
Yeah, Spiro Agnew.
The greatest named vice president of all time, Spiro Agnew.
Spiro Agnew. How did that guy make it in politics with that name?
Because when you go to vote and you just see that, you go and you hit the button.
For anybody who's under the age of 45 years old, Spiro Agnew was the vice president for Richard Nixon.
Oh, and by the way, anyone under age 45 watching this, hey, ex-girlfriend, stop watching my podcast. That's the only ones young enough watching this. That is it. Did you watch Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr.?
I saw the highlights and I heard that he was stoned when it happened. And I heard from this description of it, it was exactly what I expected. But I really wanted to see what's his name get knocked out. I heard that was the best part of the
Nate Robinson? Yeah.
Nate Robinson.
I'm not going to pay that money to watch that. But you could. The way I love about the world is the next day you can go on YouTube and watch both fights for free.
Oh, even 5 minutes later.
It's crazy how no one cares. As long as they get their money, they don't care. To me, I know people are saying Tyson was stoned. He was impressive in the ring, but more impressive after. The interviews, the joking. If he found this weed personality back then, we'd be talking about him in the same way as Muhammad Ali. Really? As funny as he was, find it when you get a chance. Go check out the clip. It's him and Roy Jones Jr. at post fight. Roy Jones is having trouble talking. Tyson
Yeah.
takes over. And at one point, it's so comical, makes them all laugh. So the guy's interviewing, whatever, and he turns and he's like, so Roy, you were hurt a couple years. It's been 3 years since you've been out. People worry about your injuries. And Mike just grabs the guy in the shoulder and goes, what about me? I've been out 15 years. No one cares about me. No one cares about my health. I'm out 15 years I haven't fought. What about my health? No one cares about Mike Tyson. And it was like so funny. They were laughing. But every time you saw Roy get worried about talking, Mike just took over. And that was not the old Tyson. I like this Tyson. But in the ring, yeah, it was 2 rounds. Yeah, they weren't allowed to knock each other out.
Yeah.
But I
don't know how you avoid – how can you make a rule about not knocking somebody out? Like, if Tyson hit him hard enough, he'd go down, wouldn't he?
See, I thought about that. You know what it's like? You know when someone tells you and I to hey, I know we don't like to tell you what to do as a comic, but they're older, they're a little tight, pull back a little bit. Somebody who's not a comic would go, how do you do that by doing the same act? We know how to do it. I think people that compete know how to hit, where to hit, what to do.
Yeah.
And they know how each other can take it. You're like, if I hit Roy once like this, I have to give him time to recover before I hit him again like this. Because if I go boom, boom, and come right on top, something like that.
Yeah, but it's still like when I watched that, the dude in Kansas City, the receiver who keeps backflipping into the end zone. I don't know how much football you're watching.
I'm not watching a lot, but I have seen that guy.
I would break that guy's back. It's only 15 yards. Like you could break his back once and it's 15 yards. I can't believe that these animals are letting him get away with
it. It's 15 yards, but think about it. When you and I loved sports, when we played sports 20 years ago, 15 yards, but you get a Nike deal. Because you're badass. Now it's 15 yards, and you're never getting a sponsorship ever, and you're going to get dropped, and you're going to get hated, and you're going to because the world is a bunch of people that want to just jump on that. How dare you do? He should be allowed to backflip. How do you know he didn't? Maybe he identifies as a gymnast, John. How do you not know that?
He identifies as a gym. He's a football player who identifies as a pole vault, as a hobble horser.
My parents made me be Herschel Walker, but I identified as Mary Lou Retton. Don't you understand? That's who I was. Once again, for the older people out there, you're welcome. For younger people, Mary Lou Retton was your Dominique Dawes. Like, is that even who that is? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
But what I liked watching about the Tyson thing after was the animal's still there.
Yeah. I saw it.
When someone says, oh, he's old, there's 54. I don't care what you say. Like, when you watch Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino and people go, isn't it cool when he's older he can still do that? I'm like, you don't turn that shit off. That's not shit you turn off. There's certain shit in people you don't turn off. And I love it when people get older and they go, he's softened. Like, no, he learned how to camouflage.
He's just running out of testosterone.
Well, no, he still has it, but he's like, am I going to sit there and just blow my load, or am I going to wait for that one time to just crush it? I'm not going to just throw it out there, but when I can. And when you watch Tyson move, Roy Jones Jr. has never fought anything like Tyson.
No, not at all.
Tyson fought the greatest, strongest things in his path at his time. Not that they were at his level, but there were some tough people. Roy Jones Jr. was amazing, pound for pound, maybe the best boxer ever, but there was no one even close. You know?
No, there was nobody close to Tyson when Tyson was at his best. Not ever not close to Tyson. You know what I mean? I don't. You never know. Like,
I don't think anyone was. I don't think
not in his prime. You know, like I don't think if he fought Foreman or Ali and they were all in their prime.
I don't know. When you watch those Ali fight, Tyson Ali had the swagger, the moves, whatever. Him trying to dance around, Tyson would have fucking cut that off.
No, when Tyson was walking to the ring, it was like he was going to do a professional hit. It was. And I loved watching like Spanks and all these guys who have been around forever, who were just fucking terrified, and like watching their confidence dwindle as he got closer and closer to them. That was what was so tragic. I can't believe the one thing that's great about it is if you were a Tyson fan when we were kids, we're still talking about fucking Tyson fights, and we're in our 40s.
It's the same thing as Jordan. So when people compare things, it's like I'll always say Jordan. And it's funny, I'll always say Kobe's like the young one. It's like Kobe did a whole career. It was amazing, but I still look at him as a younger Jordan.
Yeah, retired.
And he's not. Jordan's your grandpa. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is in that whole thing. LeBron's almost done. I mean, that's how crazy that is. I remember talking to people about they're talking about this kid in junior high school who's better than everybody. He's like Malone who can handle the ball. It's like, and he's already done his whole career.
Yeah, right. It'll never happen. And there he is. I remember I watched this. I stopped everything to watch that guy's first game.
I remember. Well, that's when they were putting a lot of high school games on TV, and you could watch Marbury and stuff like that too. It's like,
I mean, the Cavs. Me and my buddy used to go down to watch some of those Catholic high school games in the little tiny gym where you were against the wall and you might get kicked in the face, and it was terrifying. But that's my daughter saying, "Yeah, she's still doing her homework."
Hello. That's so, I like how you say that's not life.
This is my life.
That's life.
You know, I have a reputation, Pat, for sometimes not behaving on above board, and I didn't want you to think that I was being that type of guy today when I was actually being family Rome.
Let me say this to reputations. Poo-poo to you. I hate to use bad language with your daughter in the room, but poo-poo to your reputations, because I also have reputations, but I don't care about them. You know what I'm happy about? You're talking about me. But guess what? I'm not that guy. I just work all day. I have fun podcasting at night. I miss comedy a whole bunch. I miss my friend here, so I'm happy to chat with you. I look forward to tonight. I didn't have to have notes. I don't need notes for this podcast.
No.
I just talk to you.
I wish I knew you were going right into Tyson. I would have definitely watched that fight.
I didn't watch it either, but I wanted to talk more about. I think what it adds into is about. I've been talking to other comics, and they're like, "Well, not having all this time and not being able to perform. If things do open up, it's going to be hard to get back into it." And I don't think so. I think the people that worry about that, no offense to them, are people that were never really that good.
Well, I did the one outside gig with Johnny Benson booked in Milford, which was it was a huge success. It was we were as many people as we could possibly have.
Awesome.
It was the lowest point where nobody was really getting sick around here at that.
Johnny's the Pied Piper of that area, man. He can get people to come out there.
Oh yeah, he can. I mean, anybody he could fit could fit. And I went up and was so happy to be up. I wasn't in any kind of order of material. I was just going in and out of material, going to the crowd, going to this, and it was fun and exciting. And it was great. And I was so worried about rust and all that shit. But that went away the instant I got the mic. You know what I mean?
We don't get that rust. We think we're supposed to have it. But you don't. Even when you that's where we are at. Even if you believe you're rusty, we're not apparently rusty. We're that inside. If you cracked open the metal and inside it's deteriorated rust, but on the outside it's shining like chrome, baby. It does. They don't notice it because we know how our whole lives. You and I have been talking our ways out of things. That doesn't turn off. We just finally get paid for it. But we've been using our gift of gab forever.
Let me tell you about the nightmare for all the guys who are nervous about it, because I had one of those too. I had one indoor gig at Orange Ale House. And it was a madhouse. The place, you've been in there. Have you done a show in there?
No, but I've been there.
Nightmarish to do a show in. It is every time. And it's never for them directly, so they're never responsible. It's always for somebody who tries and wonders why they don't have comedy at Orange Ale House. So,
wait, do they have like a weird stage in the back?
Weird stage in the back. And
okay, I have done it. I don't even remember who it was for, but I went there and did a spot for somebody.
They had a woman who was a local, and I had met her before on a podcast. And she was a local, and everybody in the crowd was hammered. It was late Sunday on Labor Day weekend, and everybody was there to see her. So they're loud, they're drunk. When she goes up, they listen, and as soon as she finishes, they all bail, including her. So I'm like, so now it's time for me to go up. Everybody's exhausted. And, of course, I trip and fall onto the stage. So now I have to get off the stage, come back around the steps because I'm not hopping anything at this point.
Is anyone there to even laugh, or is it?
No, it was still jammed with drunks, but the whole middle left. So all the outside. Yeah. So. No, this is show.
Oh my god.
So this one dude.
Oh, I love that. My kids do that too. You start telling a story, and they know enough about your life to go, "Oh God."
So this one, there's a bunch talking, and it's going. You're going into material, but I got this one kid who keeps yelling. And I go at him, and I let him have one, and I say, all the typical, you bought the ticket to watch me, bitch, blah, 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 blah. And then after a while, there was a group of young guys that did Duke lacrosse team jokes. I was going after him. The crowd was all laughing. I had the crowd chanting, shut the fuck up. I had the whole thing. Everything. The guy just didn't get it. Every time I started a bit, just right back. I did. So when you have
Drunks
sex,
don't get it.
When you have sex, it doesn't mean you're allergic to women. That's the pepper spray.
Right.
And the guy didn't. He didn't. And I was killing with all this bullshit. And then every time I tried to start going in, hey, can I insult you now? So I finally cut. There was no more to do. I probably got about 20 minutes out, and just, you know what? Good night. So that had nothing to do with COVID, though. That's that place and that time, and all the comics who were on that show felt like shit when they got off stage.
Who was running the show?
Well, it was oh God.
Tyler Perry.
No.
Medea goes to Orange Ale House.
Edit out that I say that. I know his name, and it's just on the.
Oh no! You don't have to say the name. I don't care about that. Was the booker of the thing there?
Yeah, he's a comic. He's
okay, but I don't even know his name. But that's his job. COVID.
No, but
COVID.
Let me tell you, he got physically threatened trying to go over. He got physically threatened. No bouncer. We had one of the guys was being a bouncer. And Darren was there. He was going after the crowd.
Rivera?
Yeah.
Oh, he's not gonna fight anybody.
Yeah. Well, he had. I guess.
Did he shower sex the fuck out of him?
No, he didn't even get to somebody washcloths.
What?
I don't think so. I don't think it was. I think he knew the temperature of that room. You're not pulling a water.
You know that they say a shower is sexy, but the guy never gets any water, baby.
Darren Rivera is my friend.
I love Darren Rivera, and I love how much that bit works because it makes my heart hurt. It's like I'm sitting here writing things. Like I literally just recorded something at Stress Factory. I did 50 minutes last Wednesday, 35 of it new. A couple of things, making things up, and I know that as hard I was hitting with stuff, all Darren had to go is, "You guys know about the shower?" And it would just crush. And it's like,
the bit does crush. Didn't bother me at all until he pulled out the washcloth. That's when I fucking got furious.
When there's merch. Darren Rivera is the Kiss of Connecticut comedy. And for every bit, there's merch. And but I love him, and it's smart.
I wish I had an eighth of that hustle.
You know what, though?
I don't think like that.
But here's what I give him credit for, and I've talked to him about this openly, so I can say this. When I first started, and you started too, Darren was a different comedian. And Darren had outside confidence. Darren was charming, a social butterfly, all that stuff. But inside, you knew there was something like he was battling with himself or something was weird. Because on stage, he wasn't that Darren. He was funny, but it was kind of hacky. It was kind of hacky. When that switch hit, when he started going, screw you, I'm going to talk about my real life, that's when you're like, that's the guy we've all been waiting to see. And of course, all that hustle, all that other stuff he had was going to come through, and everything else was going to be the merch on top. He's so likable. He's so and it's real. It's genuine. I know guys that are likable on stage and charming, but they're really just used car salesmen. But Darren, that's really who he is. He loves everyone. He loves to meet people. The only person he doesn't love all the time is him, but that's comedy. We're all that way. But
right, exactly.
But that's real. Darren. So I can joke around with that.
He's also great to travel with. Darren's a great.
When I know I'm going to be on a show with Darren, I know I'm going to enjoy myself no matter what. But I also know that I'm going to have to follow this 20-minute bit that the world's going to erupt to like it's the White Album. It's like, God damn it.
You also have to follow a guy with his shower bit that the only reason he really wants to be there is to make it difficult for you to he loves making it hard for people more than anybody I've ever met. And
he's the second most. Dave Moon. Dave Moon's goal was to make sure you couldn't follow him. He would look at me and go, follow that. I would go, with pleasure. And we both have great sets. But that was his thing. That was Dave wanted to. I saw him recently. I saw him at comics about.
I haven't seen him in a long time.
So I was surprised. He was just hanging out there. It was right before all this stuff happened, or maybe like right at the beginning of it. And he was sitting. No, because he was sitting at the bar and he couldn't do it. So whatever, he came over quickly. He just said, "Hey." We just chatted, and he's doing well, whatever. But he's not doing much comedy. He's hoping to opens back up to start again. But he was another guy.
I know he's doing well. Last I talked to him, he's another one that I love. I know Dave's done his thing over time, but I've always liked him. So
he's always been he's been seriously, naturally one of the funniest people I've ever met. He's one of those guys that if life didn't get in the way, the guy would be big. He's just so funny.
I never saw he chop up. especially, it doesn't have to be, don't get me wrong, it doesn't have to be his local room, but when he is in a local room, it's fucking magic because he remembers every tidbit about every one of these fucking people and hits them below the belt, and they have no choice. I do that shit in West Haven, but there's nobody better at picking out that thing that bothers the shit out of you about yourself, and Dave will go right at it.
Yeah, John Mulaney used to have a bit about that, saying there's no one meaner than 12-year-old boys. It's like he's like you're walking across the street and all of a sudden they start yelling. They go, "Look at you with your feminine hips." They go, "That's the thing I'm sensitive about," because they always pick out that one thing that you know. But with Darren, and I think I might have talked to you about that. I'm not sure if I talked to you. The first show I got to do when we all came back from all this was like late June. I did it, me and Rivera and Ryan Brouth and Christine Blinn. And I think it was somewhere near Ledger, somewhere by the water. I forget where, like Niantic or something. And it was outdoors. And Darren was getting ready to go up and I was going to be closing it. And Darren's like, "So you feel rusty?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm just going to try out a bunch of new stuff." And he looks at me. He's like, "I hate you." And I'm like, and they're like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm going to try out new things." He goes, "Here I am. I'd love to try out new things, and I know I have to." He goes, "You know what? I'll try one or two new things too, but I know I have to do my thing." He goes up, tries one new thing, and that's great. Why not? Do what you have to do. He tries it. He does his other bits, crushes with it, whatever. I went up. I think I did like 40-something minutes, and 35 of it was like new. And it was literally just like 5 minutes I had to do just to get like myself going again. I tried one bit, it didn't feel great, so I'm like, let me throw something out there to get myself moving. I did a bit, but I kind of played with it anyways. I even I did like a remix of a bit, and then did all new stuff. And I walked off, and I was like, I hate I have to go to that other stuff. He looks at me, and goes, "Fuck you." And I go, "What?" He goes, "Whoa, I only did 35 new after a pandemic." It's like
I did a bunch of new shit on my gig, but I was locked in my living room for the last 6. It was all about like TBS commercials and shit. I had nothing else. It's all about what was around me in my house. So my daughter got a lot more play. I got a lot more. I mean, I did do some, some of the stuff about the social climate. I'm not going to go into it on, overall, but I did some Black Lives Matter stuff and all that shit, and it went over. And it went over in rooms that were mixed. So it was a good feeling to get doing something edgy like that I hadn't done in a while. There hasn't been anything that edgy in a while. You know what I mean?
Right.
I didn't stand up there and talk about Tiger King or, waste all that shit or any of that shit that I know people are out there doing and talking. Everything's COVID. Everything's this.
Right.
I didn't do all that shit.
All my stuff is my perspective of what happened since. And that's really what it is. Like, I have one bit now that I did in front of Rodney Norman. He's like, when you finish that, it's going to be one of your biggest bits. And basically I had one line come to me because I was thinking about like, what we've lost since this. And I was like, oh, what I miss the most is buffets because we can't go. And I was like, China's #1 export is gone. And he's like, dude, that's big. And I started going into that and I started bringing up all the things I miss a buffet, but in a rant where it basically ends with me saluting this woman, but I don't want to give her $1 because she's not a real waitress to just take my plates. And it's like, I miss taking an ice cream scoop and putting it in a water fountain just so I can get through the concrete pistachio that's supposed to be strawberry so I can put it next to my General Tso and my spaghetti and so I can not eat any of it and say, take this, now it's time for tofu. It's like, and I just went this whole rant and then it goes into like the things we don't need anymore, like teachers, see ya, like, and I have a whole rant on that. It's like, and all the things I've learned. And I did all that at Stress Factories and new stuff. And it's all clicking. It's just finding new things to rant about. But I know that people will, even if they're on my side or not on my side, what I'm saying will understand where, there's been no better time. That's right. I'm not a big fan of it. I know you aren't either. When someone dies, we're not the kind of comics that write a joke right away about their death on Twitter. It's just not us. But I understand it. I understand why you do it because as a comic, we want that premise, we want that one premise that everyone gets. COVID is the one thing you have to explain it. You go, for those who won't know, COVID, like everyone knows what it is. You can talk about it. You can talk about quarantine, you can talk about masks, whatever, without having to explain anything. So you're dumb not to talk about it, but don't be a hack when you talk about it. Have it come from your plate. I guess you would do it. I think that's why some people avoid it because they don't know how to just be themselves in it.
No, I do. I mean, not that. I've done it.
No, you and I can do that all day. No, I like her chiming in with Tyler Perry. I want to get booked by Tyler Perry at the Orange Ale House, like real bad.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I knew he was running. It was Andre Kim, by the way. I just have.
Oh yeah, I saw he's been putting out a lot of stuff. Man, he's been doing great things. He's been Godfrey and stuff.
He did. I don't want. It wasn't his fault.
Oh no, that makes sense though. Andre is a soft-spoken person that's not going to do that.
He tried, man. He did try with the dude.
Oh yeah. He would be respectful. The guy loves comedy. I mean,
he was respectful, and he owned it. But I called him that night. He talked how to go. I'm like, dude, you didn't do anything because I mean, it was said, where is he? Where is he? But he wasn't going to do anything. There was nothing, no control. I actually went up, and this is why I have no regard for the Orange Ale House. So I don't give a fuck who hears this. I told the owner, I'm like, you got to do better than that, bro. This was miserable.
Do better than that. And he goes, have you been to my establishment? It's the Orange Ale House.
I hope you're kidding. I said, these are your people. You had them sit around bombed, waiting for one person. They didn't respect the show. You got a guy screaming at everybody. You don't stop him. There's only so much you can do. So it was just, I've never done that. I have no interest in even going in that place as to drink, much less do a show.
See, I've lucked out. Everything I've done during COVID has either been in a comedy club or at an outdoor show that was run by a group of people that all kind of knew each other, like Compound Media stuff. So, everything I've done hasn't been a bar, and I haven't done that.
Yeah.
This Thursday, I'm doing a brewery in Woodbury for Brooke Smith, and a bunch of other comics are going to be on it. Just it's probably my last time being on the stage this year. I just screw it. The money's going to be nothing or whatever. I take the stage time, but I don't know how that's going to go. And that'll be the first time I'm tested in a while to an audience that I know, even though they're going to be spaced. Every audience I've had has been controlled and wanted to be there. I haven't had to do any shows during this time where they didn't want to be there.
It was so surprising because of the one that you did is what you described as it was people who were dying to watch comedy.
Right.
And the second one was just couldn't have been worse. It couldn't have been worse. It was. But I'll tell you what. I'm not. This isn't just trying to kill Orange Ale House. But the truth of the matter is,
fuck you, Orange Ale House. You're the Holocaust of bars.
Out of my 5 worst shows, 3 of them have been at the Holocaust of bars. At the Orange Ale, that place is not here again. It was like bringing someone back.
Orange
Somebody
cost.
Bringing someone back. Wait a second, I escaped. No, you didn't.
I escaped. There is no escape.
There is no escape.
You walk out with a number on your arm. Like, how'd I get this?
How the fuck did you get a number on my arm?
It's like, wait, no one from Orange can count this high. It's like, this is terrible. For those people listening, no, not Orange, New Jersey. It's the one you haven't heard of. Orange, Connecticut.
Yeah, the one you haven't heard of. That stretch of the post road nobody talks about.
Yeah, the one where everyone's like, that's Milford, right? Oh, no, that's West Haven, right?
No, it's West Haven.
It's the thing in the middle.
Yeah. It doesn't have Chinese buffets anymore.
Why is it named Orange? Because one time someone there had an orange. Like, that'd be it. There's no growing of orange. Why is it orange?
I don't know. I have no idea. There's an orange everywhere. I don't know why that one's orange. There's no citrus. There's not even a place to get orange juice. I mean, I guess a gas station you could get some orange juice.
There's barely stores. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no grocery store. You go to Milford or West Haven for that shit.
There's 2 golf courses. Right?
The Hobby Lobby. Yeah. Do you want to talk?
The Hobby Lobby? Are they still around?
I don't know. I think it's just a big closed building now, but
it's right next to the Ames.
The Ames?
The Ames and the Bradleys.
Down by Grossman's.
That's how old you and I are. Remember when I had a bit where I said Bradley's and you messaged me and you're like, hey, I hope you don't mind. I used it. And now nobody would get it because Bradley's isn't a thing.
No, because I think I was replacing Caldor with Bradley's.
Yeah. Because I would always say, it's like, hey, where'd you get this? I didn't know Bradley's was still open. Oh, speaking of that, guess who I ran into at my day job?
Who?
Billy Wynn.
Oh, yeah? What's he doing?
He's like, hey, you got any Christmas trees? And I'm like, not the one you want. He's like, oh, how you been? I'm like, good. He's all fired up. He's like, he looks great. And he's just like, he just goes, we were trying to do some show. I guess he was doing stuff with Ryan, the Treehouse. And he's just like, we're trying to do a show. They all went away. I'm like, all comedy went away, Billy. I'm at Big Lots working right now. Of course it went. And he goes, yep. Then you know what? He messaged me a day later and goes, hey, man, when we get things going again, we'll definitely get you on board. That was nice. I haven't talked to him in a long time.
Yeah.
It was nice to see him.
Whew, it's fucking rough. I miss it. I do miss it.
I
I'm just
do,
doing
but
it for real.
I've found enough outlets where I'm okay. I can
Yeah, see, I
genuinely
need
say
this.
that.
I need something like this. I don't know, man. I just don't. I don't feel funny. You know what I mean? Like,
But then
during the
don't be
day, my
funny.
day job.
Do something else you like. Do a sports podcast. That's your goal. You're the new Francesa. You and her do a podcast.
I think it's gonna happen. She wants to until she's on camera, and then she
Right.
gets a little.
My daughter's the same way. They sit right there. My daughter's a sniper, the funniest thing in the world. You turn the camera. Get out of here. Well, you have to remember, a camera to them is a threat. Because younger people, it's like, fight time. It's like, no. It's like, that's all they do. It's recording a fight.
If all the phones go up, somebody's about to get
So if everyone's holding the phone but you're about to get punched. I am happy the punches I took didn't get put on there. That was
not on film. I would have ended up on YouTube all the time.
I took a couple of good punches. I would have liked to see those. This is how recorded they would have been.
I've took a couple of good ones. I've ended up bloody.
You're working you're working essential, right? You're doing day stuff.
I am an essential, yes. It's a counter help, so it's not too much with the public. We got contractors that come in, and then when it goes down to DEFCON 1 or whatever the fuck, they lock us up, and we have a room that we just put stuff out for them.
But you can still work.
I haven't missed any work. No.
Cool.
Well, I did get quarantined. A buddy of mine, Albanian bag of shit that he is, he got exposed, and I was hanging out with him at a Halloween party, and then I got tested negative, but because I reported it, I still had to do the rest of the quarantine. So
speaking of that, you hear about Kenny Ortega?
Yeah, was that COVID?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Yeah, I saw it all over the web. That's fucked up.
That dude, for people who know, he was one of the funniest motherfuckers I ever saw on stage. He's so funny.
Yeah.
He's young. I know he wasn't. I think he's younger than you and I. Not by much.
Sure. No, I don't think by much, but I think he's definitely.
I can never tell with the Latinos. I know people say that with the blacks, but I can always tell with the blacks. The Latinos is the ones I can't tell.
I can't tell with anybody. I don't even try.
I can obviously never tell with women. I'm always like, you're my age, right? They're like, I'm 18. Whatever.
I'm not prepared to say I can't tell but black people are always older than I think they are when I talk to them. So I think it's like Chris Clark is about 65. I swear to God, I thought he was 32 years old.
He's someone else that I got to reach out to because him and I always, whenever we see each other, like, all right, let's podcast together. I never do because I always feel like I'm imposing. Like, oh, you ain't imposing. Put me on your show. And I'm like, all right.
I just said Chris Clark because I talk to him all the time.
Tell him I said hi next time you talk to him, and say I'm going to hit him up to be on the podcast, please.
I just talked about for his birthday because I was watching some. If you ever watch something, I know you probably do see some of the content that he puts up.
Yeah.
Not just his, but just the guy throwing the couch out of a window and all this dancing all over Vegas. He did that, and then that one bit. I was watching a bunch of his shit recently. I just got hooked in. I'm watching an hour of Chris Clark. And I'm like, I fucking know this guy. I feel like a tool watching all this shit. But it was funny. He's so
no
fucking
one like that with the way Rodney Norman is blown up on the internet right now. He's viral now, and I have people messaging me sending me clips of him going, "Have you seen this guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's Rodney." They're like, "You know him?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know him." The fucking I know him. What?
Hanley was like that for a while.
Hanley had that blow up. It was in a commercial. Like Rodney's thing is Rodney's become like a meme. Like Rodney has become this thing. I mean, what's his name? Howie Mandel did a duet TikTok with Rodney's video. And so that if you've seen those things on TikTok where they do that, so it's like the one video and then you react to it. Howie did that with a Rodney thing and just put it out there. And it's like millions of people saw that. It's like he is at this level. I had him when I did Stress Factory. I always hit up Rodney. I'm like, hey, I try to hit up you, but I was like, then I got Rodney, and I was like, do you want to do 25 in front of me? He's like, oh, sure. But it's like now I'm asking this guy that's like this viral thing to open for me, and then Colin Cook too. Which, by the way, it was good to see Colin. It was good to see.
I was gonna say
it was good to see. It was good to see. I was
gonna say that I saw Colin turn a corner in comedy the same way, and maybe not to the same point, Darren. And I was afraid to say it because I was afraid what you were going to do to Colin if I said something. I like Colin.
I like Colin a lot, and Colin told me a lot of good things are happening for him. He's touring the country, and he's recording an album.
He's going to cut a CD or an album or whatever they're called.
And he's going to have on the album. He's going to have a B-side of all his dirtiest jokes and all his jokes he would never tell on stage. And I don't think I'm speaking out of house when okay, it was a small crowd. Okay, small crowd. It wasn't the biggest crowd. It's COVID. There was probably like 45 people on the night before Thanksgiving. And he was hosting. So, yeah, it's hard to get the energy going right away. At one point, he took all those jokes, and I look at Rodney. He looks at me, Rodney, he goes, these must be the B-sides. But he did what a host is supposed to do. He got him to listen. If he wins second or third, he probably would have done fine. You know what I mean? I'm not shitting on for that. It's a tough thing there to have a game. Especially now with the COVID stuff, it's tough. And then I had Dan Brown do a guest spot, and I goddamn love Dan Brown. Dan Brown to me is the craziest mind, and he went up and just said some crazy shit and just did great and led right into Rodney. Rodney's got this bit. I don't want to ever do his bits, but it's this bit that brings you on this magical journey for like 8 minutes about like love and unity and togetherness. And it's just all of a sudden he tells one line. It's the most racist joke of all. And the turn of it is just like, whoa. And it was just beautiful. And then I just went up and just freestyled 50 minutes for no fucking reason. But
Rodney does that shit well.
No, he's great. And it was fun. It was great to see Colin, but it was just like, I don't know. I'm trying not to be this guy anymore, but like we're in the green room before the show, and the only one talking is Colin, and he's talking about all his accomplishments, and I'm like, this isn't going to go well. Just because, like, when someone's doing that, they're trying to convince themselves that they belong there. It's like, I asked you to be here, man. You're good. I don't care how you do. You can all three take dumps on stage. I don't give a shit. I'm going to be fine. I can follow a dead. I followed dead people before. Someone died at a show, and I did 45.
Someone did die at a show you were on.
And I did 45.
Did I kill a couple? I think I killed a couple guys.
Yeah, we've both watched people at least has enough to leave to go to the hospital.
Yeah, well, I've definitely
followed that.
Stretchered out.
You know who else? Who else reached out to me?
Who?
Ben Ortiz.
Holy shit! Really?
Yep.
Ben Ortiz. What is Ben Ortiz up to? I thought he was doing.
He's missing comedy more than you and I combined, my friend.
Is he in jail or doing?
For those out there who don't know, Ben Ortiz is a guy that was like a New Haven staple for the open mics and stuff. Has some mental stuff like that, but somewhere deep down, you knew there was. If somebody could rein in, like. I believe most actors are really just crazy people that have been harnessed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Jim Carrey's a psychopath, but people learned how to make that work. If you could take someone like Johnny Depp and you're like, how can he play so many characters? Yeah, because he's a lunatic. But if you can channel that, and Ben Ortiz has this thing in him where somebody can teach him how to channel it and write the joke, but he just can't comprehend because of schizophrenia and all that stuff. But like, I had him blocked for a while on Facebook because he gets too needy, he gets too crazily. So I was like, I don't want to deal with this a year or so ago. And then like a couple months ago, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do one of those unblock everybody in the world. No one's gonna notice, but whatever.
Yeah.
New leaf. I just went through my thing. I was like, I wonder how many people I had blocked. I had like 78 people blocked. I was like, oh, I'm crazy. So I started unblocking a lot. I'm not kidding, John. The second I hit unblock, I got a message and it went, "You unblocked me." And like, how do you know? It doesn't tell you. It doesn't.
He's just been sitting at his computer hitting that fucking button.
Just looking. And then the next sentence was, "I've been thinking about you." Then it paused. It goes, "A lot." I was like, "Oh no!" But I went, "How are you?" Let it go. And then he asked a couple questions. Let it go. And now it's just like once in a while, once a week, he very respectfully he'll see that I'm online. And he'll just like, "Yo, Pat, I got this idea for this," and he'll say something, and I'm like, "Here you go, bud." He goes, "Would you like to watch the video of the only time I ever got paid money to do comedy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I would." And it's the same set we always saw. It's at Cafe 9. It's the same thing.
Broke his shit,
but then he pounds the mic. Now it's his thing, like Chappelle, but he hits it like this. It's even worse. It's so loud. Then he goes, "You want to know the funniest line of all my jokes?" I'm like, "I do." And then he would send it to me, and then that's it.
I get the occasional. A while ago, it stopped. I just called him, but Ed Seward.
I see Ed. Ed used to do the shows for Frank, so I would see Ed.
He would call me right when the COVID started and all that. and he'd be like, "Hey, John,
Hey,
I'm
John.
interested in comedy. If you have anything, I would be interested." And I'm like, I finally, after the fourth or fifth one of Ed, I don't have anything. If I
Okay.
get something, okay. And then I get
All
another
right.
one.
Hey, John. That's me. I say word.
Okay, thanks, bro.
Okay.
Okay.
I was
How are ya?
interested if you're interested in me being interested in comedy that you're interested in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking to come back to the comedy. Ed, okay. And we're dying to have you back, Ed.
What I was happy about is I was able to establish him enough on Frank Springer's shows to the point at comics on Thursdays late when he would come, like even though the waitresses and the staff would react the same way the Joker's waitresses and staff would react when he was there. I got them to love him enough where the audience didn't know what was going on, but everybody was happy to see Ed. And for people that don't know, Ed is like this 60-something-year-old. The guy had some kind of heart issue, stroke thing years ago that kind of made him a tad retarded. And so I don't know a better way to put it, but he was just I've never heard Ed finish a joke. My favorite Ed story, which I told many times, is he would come for a year and go, "Hello, hey." He would just do these jokes like,
you just got his face right for a second.
He would just do these jokes and be like, "Oh, I take the short bus, I'm slow, John, I'm slow." And then you just go, "You want to hear my impression of Family Guy?" And you just go, I'm Peter. I'm Stewie. It's all the same voice. He would just do that all the time. And it was just like the crowd's like staring like, what? And then one day he just goes, "Oh, Pat, I don't know what to do." What? And he goes, "Do I just go?" I'm like, "Yeah, Ed, you just go." He's like, "Okay." And he just walk up, and they would all just cheer him, and they all liked it. And I miss open mics for that reason, for the characters people you met.
I would like to go back and watch that crew. Not now. I would like to go back in time and just sit in the back of the room and watch that whole thing again.
You know who I would hate the most? Me right now. You know who I would hate the most?
Who?
Me then.
You then? Me too.
Yeah, I would walk out. I'd be like, this guy is an egotistical asshole, and I can't watch this. This guy is taking over this mic and doing more time than all of them because he thinks he's saving it. And maybe someone should cut him off. Maybe someone should have the guy who runs the club fire him. Oh, wait, he runs the club too? Oh, God, this Hitler. What's he doing? Yeah. I couldn't watch it. And you know what? That's why I let Ben message me. That's why I'll chat with Ed now. Part of me is like, I didn't like who I was then. That's why I was drinking. I didn't like that guy. I like being who I am now. Now, I'm not much different, but I do get what people are going through. I'm more open to like other people have lives too. So like I can believe me, I'm not inviting either one of the motherfuckers over for fucking a meal. You're not coming in my house, but I'll have them on a Zoom. Maybe I'll have the two of them together in one of the weirdest podcasts of all time. Just watching them trying to figure out how to be on a podcast.
Can I be on?
I don't even know if he can get on Zoom, Ben.
I couldn't on my computer, but that's just
no. I mean, Ben asked me like, "So how's the podcast?" And I was like, "It's better on Zoom now." I told him, I said, I can get guests easier. It's quicker now. I can just podcast whatever. He's like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Oh, you didn't ask for something." And Ben always asked. So he must not have like internet. He must be going to the library. But no, he can't go to the library now, right?
Not really. I don't think. There's certain things. I mean, maybe it's cordoned off where you got to go through the rows.
I think if you run a library and you see him, you tell them they're closed. If I ran a library and Ben walked in, I'd be like, "Oh, we're closed."
Yeah, you're closed.
Because he wouldn't even understand that she's in there, so they're open.
Right. No.
I mean, they have to be open. She's there. But he wouldn't get that. What?
The librarian lady has?
You're not getting what I'm saying. Ben's so slow that Ben can go, "Are you open?" And then she can be inside going, "No, we're closed." And
no, we're not. But they're inside.
Well, because he's in there. She's in there. She wouldn't be answering the door. I didn't know I was doing highbrow humor for you. I'm sorry.
Over there. I apologize.
I didn't realize I was doing high-level comedy.
No. My right ear is going one place.
No, I'm one of those comics who's like, "What, am I too smart for the room, man? Look, you dummies."
For the room. You're doing an open fucking close.
I guess it's over your head now.
Why are you doing? I'm sorry.
Is your house all decorated for Christmas?
No, we are Jewish. Or they're Jewish. I'm just not allowed to
Are you all
decorate.
decorated for Hanukkah?
We're going to light a couple candles. I think that starts in a couple days, the Hanukkah.
That's not just what it is.
What? You want to explain Hanukkah?
You have a lot to learn now.
About Hanukkah?
It's too late for him to learn. It's too late. He's
have
old.
You have all the days. You have all the names of the 8 days, but we're just going to skip that.
Okay, why don't you read the homework that you have now that we're still doing?
Why don't you read the homework that you have over there?
Homework.
Homework. I'm all verklempt in my Gezelda gezoink.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm being flanked. I'm being flanked by the Jews.
Hey, the last time the Jews tried to flank, so it didn't work out for him. So go ahead there, Romanoff. That last name, I think you'll win. I know history pretty well. I'm working at Big Lots, like I said, and I'm running the seasonal Christmas department. I've had to put all the displays up.
Do you wear a Santa hat?
No, we're not like that. But I literally had to like build everything, like to put the trees up, put up all the outside displays. Like a quarter of our store was nothing but Christmas stuff, and I had to like build every aisle, do whatever. People have lost their fucking mind. We're out of Christmas stuff. Like we're out, and we had a quarter of that store was nothing but Christmas. All we have left is wrapping paper. People since Thanksgiving have been buying things insanely. Like, we have no Christmas lights. We barely have trees. We have no outdoor, like the big stand-up, blow-up snowmen or the reindeer you put in your lawn. Gone, and we will not get any more. Even the extra stuff that was supposed to be sent, gone. You can't go to any stores, buy anywhere in Connecticut, call a store, ask for Christmas lights, they're going to laugh at you.
Laugh in your face?
You can't get
I got them all. I usually come out as far as untangling those pieces of shit, and I just remind the neighbors that we're Jewish and we leave it alone.
Yeah.
And that's how we get away with it. I have a Christmas tree.
That's where the Jews are smarter. It's you get one thing like a menorah. What is it called? Not menorah. What's the thing? Menorah?
The menorah.
Yeah, and you can keep that forever. You don't need to get a new one every year. You don't have to go out.
That's right.
You don't have to cut a menorah.
It's an heirloom.
These stupid Gentiles and their money spending. They're out here.
I have a fake tree, but they make me keep it in the basement.
I have a fake tree, and it's like 2 feet tall. My dad had it. He gave it to me. The kids and I laughed. We don't even decorate it. I just put it on the coffee table, and there it is. Just standing there.
Mine's always had to be in the basement because of the dogs, and we had a really tall one, and we had to wedge it into the ceiling. That's how low the basement ceiling was. It didn't really go. And usually it's up until about April. But last year we got it down early because it was disease carrying. I hate when I don't have anything. Everything goes away. There's silence.
I like it.
I don't like it.
It's silence is your friend.
It's cathartic.
It is, and you know what? It's symbolic because because you were talking about the end of your belief in religion, because you were talking about Christmas, but you know that's gone because you live in Israel now, and you now are not allowed to celebrate your beliefs in a time when everyone's supposed to be open-minded. You have been shut down right away.
It's
your daughter and wife right away said no. Take that Gentile talk and bring it elsewhere.
Take that Gentile talk and keep it. That's why you have to keep everything in the basement, because we're not allowed to do anything in the attic.
Yes.
That's how it goes.
No, I won't go any farther than that one, but I don't know if you know history, but the Jews in attics. I mean, why would you hide in the attic? That's where you're going to look.
It's the creakiest room in the house.
Have you watched any horror movies? You always go in the attic and you find the bad things.
On the floorboards. It's always creaky up there.
You know what? If you want to be a Jew and hide somewhere, go to a construction site. They're never there.
Really?
Go to a rap battle.
Yeah. Any sports competition.
Hey, take it easy, Terry Steinbeck. I remember when the A's were in the World Series and they go, he's the first Jewish baseball player to be in 2 World Series. I was like, that can't be true. Sandy Koufax had to be Jewish.
I'm pretty sure they had to move a Miami Dolphins game to 1 o'clock from 4 o'clock on a Sunday because it was a Saturday game, and he had to be off the field before sundown. Jay Fiedler from the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, I remember that.
They had to alter the schedule because he could not be on the field after the sun went down.
Shomer Shabbos.
Shomer Shabbos. He doesn't roll on Saturdays, whatever.
I hope there's a SoundCloud rapper named Shomer Shabbos. That would be a great name for you. You wouldn't even understand why. It'd be great. If there's a Flo Rida, there should be a Shomer Shabbos.
Shomer Shabbos? Will
Shomer
just wear
Shabbos.
rabbi garb? This is going very Jewish. Very
Rabbi
Swiss.
Garb. Didn't he used to do the open mics with us?
Rabbi Garb?
Oh, that was Mike Garb.
Rabbi Garb.
I always liked Mike Garb and his wife, female Mike Garb.
Female Mike Garb.
They reminded me of like Milhouse's parents. How they looked exactly the fucking same.
Like they got separated at birth, and somebody has to tell them what happened when they met again. Well,
you know what's funny about that? Nobody listening will get that reference or what we're talking about, but I'll still get yelled at by 8 people for being an asshole. One person will hear it. Johnny Benson will go, they were talking great about me, but then they attacked Garb. Have you talked to Johnny? Have you talked to Johnny at all?
Yeah, I talk to him every once in a while.
I see him on Facebook. We like each other's things. Write a little comment here. But I haven't really reached out. I've just been busy. I mean, really have with work and everything
we
else.
We always try to get together. The times don't really line up. He was out on Saturday and I was home. He'll call me sometimes, or I'll call him to see if he can hang a little bit. But he's got the kids, so I actually talk to him. We talk a couple times a week.
I see a couple people for the most part. I'm just busy. I'm happy to be working regular job and then doing all this, but like besides the kids and that, and then I'm doing radio. I'm on Sundays on PLR every Sunday. And
you don't have PLR now?
Yeah, I've been on PLR for a little bit. Thanks for caring about your friend.
Yeah, I listen to radio on Sunday.
Yeah, you're watching Chris Clark put a couch on a window, but you can't know your friend Oates is on the fucking PLR. Yeah, I'm living Billy Wynn's life. I'm living Billy Wynn's life. I do 2 to 4 on Sundays. It's probably football for you, but a little plug for me. I will be the 7 to 12 during the week, guy. The week of the 21st, 22nd, 20, like that time. I'll be on from 7 to 12 during the week.
On the evenings?
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. That's the
I'm doing, well, they made a lot of changes. I mean, I don't think I'm ruining anything for anybody's delusions of radio, but with COVID, most people aren't going into the studio anymore. I do it right from here. All my radio shifts I do from my house. I just record on there an hour or two before, and then just load it right.
What is this all behind you? Is this a background or a green screen here you got going on?
Well,
I see.
I see
the green screen
what's
wrapped
the
around your head.
What's the difference?
No, I mean, is that really behind you? Any of that shit? Do you have you?
You think you think I have a wall that's just my newsroom?
Well, you got your newsroom, your country back there,
and cartoon me.
Comments. I saw it as soon. I see it around. There you go. See, that's not bad.
But I'm in my living room, John.
I know there's not really a cartoon version of you standing next to you.
Well, first of all, that's the only thing that's really in this house. I just have all this artwork of myself all over the place. It's great.
I don't know. You could have put a cardboard cutout thing of that.
No, I've got the one green screen behind, and I say green screen, believe me, I don't spend that kind of money. The thing behind me, you can go to the dollar store, and for literally $1, it's the green sheet that you put over like your picnic table, like that thin thing. I just tack that to my wall. It works like a green screen. These people are spending $80 on a goddamn green screen. Hey, see, listen, Jews, I'm doing it too. I'm being frugal.
Listen, Jews. None of this is allowed.
It's all allowed.
No, sounds like we're watching the movie Jojo Rabbit.
I know, Hitler's in it. Yeah, Hitler's in that one.
Imaginary Hitler.
Nope. First of all of Hitler's stuff is imaginary. Holocaust didn't happen. No, anyway.
Oh, here we go. Jesus Christ.
I don't know if you know, I do a podcast with Brandon Smith and Dave Hintz. We call it Podophiles, and we try to debunk things every week. I'm doing that one next. And Brandon's like, yeah, we can debunk the Holocaust. I go, ooh. And so we tried to do it. And he couldn't debunk it. He could, like, maybe sway the number. I'm like, we're not. I'm sorry.
Hintz I didn't know exactly what the golden chalice and the rabbit picture he had.
going on earlier today, Wes?
Oh, I didn't check out that. I can't with him. He is fighting a war that I can't care about. And he's someone I see more than anybody else now, but he is not wearing a mask. He is proud of that. I tried to go eat somewhere. He gets himself thrown out. I can just eat. I don't care.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he will not wear a mask.
Okay.
Surprise from him. That's surprising. I don't know. You never know.
He is.
This is a weird thing. You never know who it is that's going to be that way.
He is battling the world. He has figured out the world. The world is the Matrix. He's pulled back everything. I mean, seriously, it's
right.
deep. And he's figuring it all out from his parents' basement. That's how well this is working out for him.
You're going to be on a podcast with this guy in like 4 minutes.
Yeah, and I'll bring this up all the time. That's why Dave Hintz is on. I think you'd like it. Me and Dave just shit on Brandon. That's the entire thing. Brandon tries to present something, and then him and I just tell horrifically offensive jokes.
I enjoy that idea.
It's fun. But do you have anything they can follow you, promote, or anything, or what?
Do I have anything to follow or promote?
Can they follow you anywhere? Where are you spewing your loveliness?
I'm not spewing lovelies anywhere anytime soon, Pat. I got nothing scheduled.
Let's do a sports podcast.
I'll do a sports podcast in a minute.
Let's do it. So let's come up with a real plan, not like a weekly thing, but let's break down things we like.
No, let's do it. I'll be able to do it with the computer. We'll come up with a time. I would definitely do that.
Hit me. I'm serious. I mean, I know I do 100 podcasts, but you and I that'd be fun.
This is mostly just me giggling at you and trying to get a line in every once in a while. I'm trying to a sports podcast.
Right.
We could actually do some fucking stuff. Maybe
you won't bring so much silence to that one.
Hey, shut up. I wasn't so silent this time. I was silent on the Kumia show.
Maybe the Jewish Peanut Gallery won't be chiming in during the sports.
There you go. I got stuff going on, Pat.
The Kosher Peanut Gallery.
I put this kid up here to read a whole paragraph while I've been doing this whole thing. I guarantee she's read 2 sentences of it.
Yeah, but that's why, because she's trying to read it from the wrong side of the page.
You son of a bitch. See, you're doing Hebrew jokes. I'm not even doing jokes right now. I'm telling you what's really going on, and you're doing Hebrew jokes. You did a callback in the middle of my life.
You know what show you're on. You know who you're talking to. But no, let's make that happen for real.
I want to do a sports podcast.
Done. I will hit you up this week. We'll plan something out.
Absolutely.
2021, we will do that.
And then I can plug something.
There you go. But until then. Thank you. Thank you for coming on, though. I appreciate it, man. I miss you. So
I miss you, too. Sorry I was silent. Now you've offended me.
Don't worry about it. It was fun. We'll do it again. Tell your family I said shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Goodbye. Hoi vei. Goodbye.
Hoi vei.